Good evening everyone and welcome to the second round of Division 2 in Season 12. We are here at Monza for the Italian Grand Prix, the iconic Autodromo Nazionale di Monza, and yeah, for good reason and a very iconic track. Plenty of very exciting races have been held here throughout the year. It's been a staple on the F1 calendar for a long time. And apparently we have another wet qualifying for the second race in a row. We already had wet conditions around Australia. But the weather report for the race will be dry. Thank you, Gabby, for letting us know about that. So yeah, doesn't look like the rain isn't too intense. Mostly only intermediates, and I think this will stay that way throughout the entire qualifying. This is certainly too wet for dry tires and not wet enough for wets. So unless the weather changes significantly, intermediate tires it is. So yeah, I had written down a prediction for what the qualifying times would be, but obviously those are no longer relevant. I thought we would be seeing low 119s, high 118s. The world record around Monza is actually a 117.8. So yeah, that was about what I would have expected in this division. Yeah, a couple of points things to talk about before we focus on the action. We have a new driver joining us today, and there we go, he's already out on track. I did ask how to pronounce his name, and the answer I got was literally just his PSN. Not his PSN, his EA ID. So I'll do my best. I believe it's Strielka, but if that is incorrect, I don't apologize. I asked you how to pronounce it, and I didn't get a good answer, so it's your fault. Yeah, new driver joining us today. He joined the league this morning, and based on his time trials, I considered placing in Division 1, but he isn't able to race on Saturdays, so yeah, we'll see. He should be towards the front end of the field. Of course, time trial always is a different beast in the actual session. We'll see where he ends up, but I would predict him to be one of the front runners. On top of that, this will be Tyler's last race in Division 2, at least for the time being. He is moving to Division 1. He is not able to race on Wednesdays anymore. He can only race on Saturdays going forwards. So he will be moving to a main driver seat at Alfa Romeo in Division 1 from Saturday onwards. So yeah, a bit of a farewell race for him in a way. And probably the most important point, and the one I've left for last, the race results of last week changed significantly. Foles was given 2 5-second penalties post-race by the stewards, which dropped him to P5. Both of them were for incidents with Marco, who he forced off track. Not sure what corner number it was, but he forced him off track 2 laps in a row, and was given the 5-second penalty for both instances. And therefore, Kevin ended up the race winner of that Grand Prix, with Sullivan in second and his Kevin's teammate Gabriel in third. So a great result for Ferrari in the end, P1 and P3. Sean Proton the fourth, and then as I said, Foles in fifth. So yeah, that will then of course also be our championship standings. At the moment, Kevin, the leader of the championship, but it's very early in the season. We're only in round 2. So I would say it's a bit early to start thinking about that sort of stuff. I am quickly gonna just turn down the game volume. I think it's a bit too loud. And I'll also actually check the audio on stream. Should have done it earlier. Imagine if I had been talking this whole time with no audio coming through. Okay, no, it's working. Good. And the first couple of times come in, we've got JM currently on first place at 26.291, followed by his teammate Mendelsmann with a 497, Strelka 26.525, Ewek 27.164, and Foles, well, he would have had some kind of spin, major mistake, something like that, with a 32.6. We see a couple of cars about to cross the line with Mercedes, which is another new driver actually, sorry. Well, not new really, he just didn't race last week. Desi. He is a reserve driver replacing Marco in the Mercedes today. You know, flags in Sector 2 for JM, who I believe is just letting people pass, didn't actually crash or anything. We've got one of the McLarens across the line, Pinky, who actually goes back to the pit lane. Behind that is Pocho, and he will cross the line here and puts in a 126.381, exactly 90 thousandths behind JM. Meanwhile, Tyler goes into first place, beats JM by 31 thousandths, a 26.260. Very close gaps in the front right now. So we might be in for a very exciting race. Mannesman, there we go, 26.114, a new fastest time into first position. Alpine right now looking very strong in P1 and P3. As Ewek goes back to the pit lane. Following him will be his teammate Sharmul. After that, another Alpine, which is JM on his way back in the pits, I believe. Behind him, Striaker on his way back in the pit lane. Is anyone on a push lap right now? Foles might be, actually. Just came out of turn 1 using ERS and is going full throttle through the Cover Grande. And he's up by a 10th in the first sector. So that's not where his mistake was earlier. Bit of a slide coming out of chicane, but he did manage to keep it going. Might have cost him a bit of time though. That wheel spin, of course, affecting his speed all the way down towards Lesmo 1. He's being very aggressive with the curbs here, very aggressive on the throttle. Really trying to wrestle his Aston Martin around the corners in these difficult conditions. But full confidence in the car for Foles, it seems. Of course, now 5.5 seconds up. There we go. Sector 2 is where the mistake was, apparently. Oh, and through Ascari, a big slide. Had to short up the 6th gear and counter steer almost 45 degrees. Did catch it though, thankfully for him. But certainly cost him 1, 2, maybe even 3 tenths there. That can easily be gained on his next lap after this. Short shifting to 6th on the exit of the Parabolica. And down towards the line. Where will Foles end up here? It's a 26.444 and 5th position. And some time to be gained. We saw a few mistakes on that lap. So Foles looking strong early on here. We have Sean Moore, who is on an invalid lap. Behind him, Mannesman, who's on a back to the pits. He is run out of fuel. Behind that, BS Gabi, 6 seconds down. Behind that, a McLaren, which would be Cucho on about to start the lap. Following that, an Aston Martin and BO Wise, who is about to start the lap. Following that, the Alfa Romeo Fog. Finally, we found someone on a lap. Coming around the Parabolica and up to the line. Hasn't done a lap at all so far. How far? Up. Oh wow, Fog! 26.096, a new fastest time. And not one of the names we see at the front usually. Fog all the way into first position. And he'll be very happy about that, I imagine. Meanwhile, Cucho going through the Variante della Roggia and passing off the Alpines there. Just touching an inside curb on the first part of Lesmo very slightly, missing the curb through the second Lesmo though, so I would say the exact opposite of how you should take the Lesmos. You want to miss the first curb and take the second one, but of course it can be style dependent, driving style dependent. A lot of things can affect what curbs you take and which ones you don't. This will be his first time of the session. Almost jinxed him. Major slide coming out of Ascari, and that could have very well ended up with him in the wall. Thankfully for him though, he managed to catch the car and keep it intact, no damage, no wall contact, lap still valid, only a bit of time lost. And up to the line. Where's he gonna end here? End up here? What will it be? A 126.478 into 8th place. And at the moment we have a really close grid. I mean, from P1 to P14 it's a second. So we are looking at a very competitive grid tonight. I think Fox is about to start another run. How much fuel does he have left? I can't see because he keeps having to counter steer. I guess not enough, he's gone back in the pit lane. JM though, he is about to start a run here and braking just at the 150 meter board for the first chicane. The Variante del Rettifilio. I do apologize, my Italian pronunciations are gonna be absolutely horrendous, and I expect to be given shit for it by the Italians in the league. Which is fair enough, honestly. And JM up by a very solid 2.5 and a bit tenths. And then taking a lot of curves in the first part of the Della Roggia. and he abandons the lap. I assume lost too much time there with the slide on the exit. The first part looked really good, like bouncing over that curb almost perfectly, but then just couldn't get the car under control quickly again to go through the second part. What about Pocho? Is this a hot lap for him? Does not look like it. And there we go, new fastest time. Our new face in the league, Strielka, 25.961, but Sully immediately a 26.034. Doesn't quite beat him, but he gets very close to it. Of course, the question is how this track will develop. Are we already at peak track conditions, or will the track get any faster? Of course, the drivers will also adjust to these conditions. You've seen it a lot in wet qualifyings that even if the track doesn't improve, the drivers still find a good second or so or more over the course of the session, just because most people will not have done any, or at least not a lot of practice for wet driving. Of course, we expect it to be dry. So yeah, when it's wet, drivers will have to take some time to actually learn the conditions, see where the grip is, and can then find a lot of time throughout the session. And that seems to be happening in this session as well. I think we started with a 26.4 or something, 26, something like that. And Ewek with a 26.779 stays in 15th place. Right now the entire field separated by just 8 tenths. Hono's, Pinky and Marcelio, the only ones who haven't done a lap so far. GM up by 3.5 tenths in the first sector already. Let's see what he's up by after the second sector. Still just under 3 tenths, so a solid lap from JM so far. That could put him in contention for pole position if he just gets a clean final sector. The Alpine driver wanting to, of course, get as good a position as possible. We all know how dangerous the midfield can be in Monza. 25.273 by Folks, and a massive gap to Strielka as Pocho has crashed on the exit of Scavi for JM into second place. Will go on board with Tyler and see Pocho's car parked up on the right hand side in the barriers and out of qualifying. Meanwhile, Fogg is putting on some soft tires in the pit lane, so the track does seem to be drying out. That would explain the massive gap that Folt just put up, as Tyler gets a 5 test grid penalty for a collision with Ewek, who just DNF'd from the session. What has happened here? Sean Moon apparently also just had a spin out of the Ascari, and sadly Ewek's car deswarmed before we could see where exactly it was parked. I can only assume that he went into the back of Tyler, who was preparing for a lap. Lost his tire, and the session is over for him. He will be stuck in 15th at best, with the track significantly improving apparently, considering that Fogg has just gone out on softs. That is a weird choice, considering we still have 4.5 minutes to go. If the track is drying out, surely you want to go as late as somehow possible, but Fogg has gone quite early here. Most drivers are in the pit lane. DRS has been enabled. There we go, the track has officially been declared dry by the FIA. Only very few cars out on track right now. JM back to the pit lane as well. Kevin out on intermediates right now. Kucho out on intermediates and up by 3.5 tenths in the first sector. Or, well, 3 3/4 tenths. Didn't see Kevin's second time, unfortunately. I'll try and get it up, but it isn't showing up after I switch back and forth. So we'll have to wait and see for him. But currently the only one out on the softs is Fogg. Kucho and Kevin both in this, but will they even finish this lap, or do they go back to the pit lane so they can get another soft run? If they finish this lap, they won't have enough time to get the softs on. Oh, Kucho with a major mistake through Ascari. Has caught it, but certainly lost some time through her. And I missed Kevin Cossen's second too as well, that's unfortunate. Was trying to get his second times, but I just keep missing him. And there we go, Fogg. The first one on the soft compound tire. Kucho, is he gonna finish the lap? He is not, he's gone back in the pit lane. 3 minutes to go. What about Kevin? Is he gonna finish it? Or is he also gonna get soft tires? He's finishing it, and Kevin will probably jump to first place here. No, he won't. 25.775, still 5 tenths off Foltz. So a very impressive lap time from Foltz there, but Kevin to second place anyway. A very solid lap time. But chances are he now won't get a run on softs in, while many others will. Fog up by 15,000 in the first sector. Not a lot, actually. So maybe the track isn't fully dry yet. I think he's gone out too early. I think he has gone out too early and shot himself in the foot with that, as everyone else will have a much drier track. And drivers are going to be going out as late as somehow possible for them. Fog drives halfway across the grass. What is that line? Why are you driving halfway across the grass? I think he's just abandoned the lap. He will try again next lap, which might even be better for him anyway, because the track will be drier. But still, he's going to be a lot earlier than others here. We have 2 minutes left to go. It is time to go out, guys. You are going to be very close to missing the line here, some of you, if you are all leaving the pit lane now. Oh, this could be also 2019-esque, when many drivers left the pit lane very late and had to... and I think almost everyone missed the line in the end. The first one, once again with Fog, as he was out or they could start a lap, bottle it and try again without anyone even getting ahead of him. You can already see people skipping the chicane there to save as much time as possible on this outlap. A few still in the pit lane. Marcelio, Kucho just came out. Marcelio is the only one still sitting in the pit lane, and we don't have much time left. Just over a minute left to go in this session, and I'm very confident that quite a few drivers will be missing the line here. Fog is down by 5/10 in the first sector. So a terrible first sector from Fog. Kevin is going again on the intermediates, up by 2.5 tenths. The track doesn't look fully dry yet, so I think Kevin... Oh, his teammate Gabri up by 6 tenths. Gabri certainly showing that the dry tires want to be on now. He is doing better than his teammate at the minute. Tyler up by 7 tenths. Plenty of big improvements coming in here. Fog down by 8 tenths. Fog isn't burning ERS. He's gonna try to go as late as possible, but this tire will be quite worn out by the time he actually starts a lap. I think the first one on the hard lap to cross the line will be Kevin, as we have 25 seconds to go, and Kevin is almost completely out of ERS here. Folds on the soft tires as well. Our current pole sitter, he's gonna be improving once more, I think. 15 seconds to go now. What has been a very hectic qualifying session is gonna come to an end here, and absolutely anyone can take pole. Kevin into second place, still 4.5 tenths gained. His teammate Gabri, is he gonna beat him? Yes, he does. 24.473 into first place. Pole position for BS Gabri, at least for now. Desi into fourth, Shawmoon into fifth, but many times still coming in. Tyler over the line into first place and by a massive margin, 23.777. Pinky coming up to the line. Where's he gonna go? And knows for time from session. Pinky 24.581 into third. Next driver across the line will be Foltz. He was on pole earlier, now he's in fourth. Up by 1.2 seconds in the middle sector. A massive improvement from Foltz. And right behind him, the AlphaTauri of Strielka. So those two I want to look out for the next couple of seconds, see where they end up, and then we move on to the next drivers. Because anyone could be a contender for pole tonight, and Foltz doesn't do it. 24.265, 5 tenths off Tyler, and Strielka actually goes second. 23.851. Mannesman 24.091 into third. Aston Martin approaching the line. That would be Oweiss, who's coming around the final corner. Currently in 15th. And he will end up in 6th, 24.543, a half behind him, which is Sully, 24.058. So many drivers crossing the line. Kucho goes first, 23.498. And I see a Ferrari. Kevin is trying one more time here, but he is going to be not improving. No ERS left in the car. And Gabri, the last one who hasn't crossed the line yet, but he will not be improving anymore. That is that. That has been qualifying at Monza, and it is Kucho on pole position ahead of Tyler, Strielka, Sully, and Mannesman in the top 5. And a very exciting end to qualifying. The track drying out, and I think Kucho was actually the last one to cross the line on a competitive lap time, and it paid off perfectly. Kucho, 23.498, pole position, followed by Tyler in second and a 23.777. Strielka in third, 23.851. Sully in fourth, 24.058. Mannesman in fifth on a 24.091, but he seems to have crashed out. Interesting. Thog in 6th, 24.159. Folks in 7th, 24.265. He was on pole before the track dried out, so this will be quite disappointing for him. He could have been right up there, I think. BS Gabi 24.473 in 8th. Always 24.543 in 9th. And Pinky 24.581 in 10th. That has been your top 10. We'll go through the rest of the grid in a moment once I get the full results. There we go. Of course, though, Tyler with the 5 place penalty will drop down to P7, which means all of these guys will move up 1 place. Kevin in 11th, 25.325. Desi in 12th, 25.507. Sharmul in 13th, 25.526. JM in 14th, 25.838. Potro in 15th, after having crashed out early on, 26.381. He has to make a comeback at his home Grand Prix here. Ewak in 16th, 26.779. Hano is crashed out as well, didn't completely let Marcelio. I don't think ever even left the pit lane. So Marcelio, I guess doing a last to first challenge. Interesting choice by him. And yeah, we are ready for this race. Hopefully, it will be just as exciting or even more exciting than the qualifying session. Expecting mostly medium-soft strategy, so soft mediums. Mediums for 15 laps, soft for 12, about, of course. Can change by 1 or 2 laps, pit earlier, pit later. Medium hards is an option as well. You do mediums for 13, hards for 14. Of course, allows you to have an undercut, which can be quite crucial. Monza is a very DRS-dependent track. The DRS trains play a massive factor on this track, so if you undercut people and get into a DRS train that's further ahead, you can maybe just consolidate your position, stay where you are, or stay in the train that you're in, and gain positions that way. Of course, plenty of crashing potential as well, so safety cars are certainly quite likely to happen today. We all know the classic Monza Turn 1 sim racing meme, it never goes well. And I am prepared for the absolute worst. I hope it all goes clean to Turn 1, but there's a reason that Monza has this reputation as yeah, a very crash-happy track in sim racing. Turn 1, such a tight corner, and such a long run down to it. So there we go, the 5 red lights are on. We're ready for the race start, and it's lights out, and away we go. Kucho on the pole, gets away pretty well, but Strelka is alongside him on the inside, going down towards the one. Strelka is slightly ahead as well, has the inside line, and should be able to take the lead of the race here. Contact further behind, I think I saw his car sideways, but all seems fine down towards turn 1. Strelka in the lead, Kucho in second, Sully battling Thog and Folds for 3rd position here. As Sully on the inside line through Kovagonde, Thog trying to move around the outside, but we have the inside line down towards the chicanes. And that should give Thog the advantage. Will Sully try and fight for it, for this 3rd place here in this race. Contact made there, and contact made again. Thog going through the grass, but he gets ahead of Sully. And now Folds trying to move around the outside, down towards Lesmo 1 as well. But Sully on the inside line with the advantage take. Oh no, Sully with a little mistake there. He's caught the car, but he lost many places. He's down towards P7 now. And BS Gabi all over him as well. Meanwhile at the front, Strelka already well ahead of Kucho by 1 second, who himself has 2 seconds to Thog. So all this battling is losing these guys a lot of time, as Folds has a little look up the inside line into Ascari at Menaceman, but he can't actually get the move done. And we see a Mercedes off the track, and that's Desi, who had to take avoiding action, I think, through Ascari, and he lost a few places in the process. Kevin and JM swapping places for P11. What an opening lap this is. Sean Moon moving past Tyler, who had a terrible start, starting in 7th, now 13th. Not sure what happened to Tyler, but not great for him at all. And Thog going into the pit lane on the 1st lap already. Meanwhile, Strelka flying away at the front, and Folds making a move on Menaceman for 3rd position. Claims the place down towards turn 1. And, oh my god, always, what a massive send! It gets a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. I think he's took out one of the half cars, Hanois. What on earth just happened there? He's lost his entire front wing. Sean Moole with a spin at Curva Grande, involving Sully as well. No, involving Hanois. But Sully down in 13th, so maybe Sully was the Haas that was hit. Maybe both Haas were hit by Always. I don't know, that was a very, very hectic turn 1. Not really able to keep track of what even just happened through that corner. Complete carnage. looked like always missed his braking point and caused a massive collision. And that will certainly be going out in the stewards. JM putting pressure on Tyler for P8 here. Tyler was down to 13th. He started 7th, went to 13th, now he's 8th again. What a start in this race for him. And now battling JM down towards the Parabolica, but JM waiting for a better chance, maybe down towards turn 1. Worth mentioning, Strelka and Kucho, who are driving right at the front right now, both on soft compound tires, so the advantage will swing in favor of the chasing cars later on in the race. The first of those, of course, being Foles in 3rd place. Tyler switches to the inside line, has a little look for a dive from the turn, but decides against it. Of course, wants to make use of those softs, doesn't want to be stuck behind, as Hanos gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Didn't manage to brake early enough for the, I think, 80 kph speed limit is around here, as Tyler goes up the inside into the Della Roggia and gets past JM once again. Goes a bit deep though, but he gets the car stopped just about in time. Actually, JM with a very bad exit there, and vulnerable to Porsche behind. Kucho burning some ERS, both Strelka and Kucho burning a good amount of ERS here. Strelka, of course, trying to keep Kucho out of the ERS, and in turn, Kucho trying to get into the ERS. So crucial on this track to have the ERS, it gains you so much time. And if anything, I think it might even be smart for them to work together. For Kucho and Strelka to just pull each other along and get as much of a gap to Foles as possible to counter the fact that he will have a tire advantage later on in the race once he goes onto the softs. Of course, it's still a very long race, a lot of things can happen. Meanwhile, JM and Tyler still battling as JM has passed him through the Parabolica, and Tyler goes into the pit lane and speeds as well. Tyler with a pit stop on lap 4 already, so that must be a wing change. Surely you wouldn't be pitting this early otherwise, and indeed it is. Meanwhile, Pocho has passed JM for P8. So many moves happening in this race. A very hectic Italian Grand Prix. And this is what you normally see around Monza League racing. It's a very intense race for everyone. Overtakes happening left, right and center. Sean Moon in the pits as well. And getting a new nose. Fitted not in that Williams. Kucho is now comfortably in DRS when she's Strelka. And now he's inside DRS when she will stay there as well, I'm very certain. It is very difficult to get someone out of DRS around Monza. I mean, there's only 2 DRS zones, but even outside of those DRS zones, the slipstream has such a major effect. Because, I mean, you're full throttle for, like, 70-something%, I don't even know, but it's a very big percentage of the lap that you're full throttle for. Which, of course, means that slipstream and DRS is a major, major advantage, even more so than on any other track. And on this game, DRS is already quite strong, slipstream is quite strong. So on Monza, you can effectively stay with people rather easily, even if you are quite a bit slower than them. And it doesn't even seem like Kucho is much slower. Of course, he managed to stay in DRS. He managed to actually, I think, catch back up after a bad start, and Strelka pulled a bit of a gap. So it does show that Kucho has very solid pace, and Strelka as well, of course, in qualifying very strong. And I think both of these guys will be pushing to their absolute maximum right now. And certainly are quite fast runners. But actually Foles doing a very good job here. 1.1 seconds at the moment the gap. He is just outside DRS range. If he could get inside DRS range, that would be so crucial for him. But he's very low on ERS. He's burnt a lot to get this close. And now that we're on the DRS straight, Kucho will absolutely fly away from him. At least that's what I would assume. So Foles, he has to hope that these guys have to battle a bit, or that Kucho has to slow down to avoid battling. Either one works for him. Just so he can get inside DRS range, and probably not even... He doesn't even want to really overtake him, he just wants to stay with him for now. And now he's done it, he's in DRS range, and this will be crucial. Foles is now right there in case of a mistake. Of course, right now with his ERS level, he's not going to be making any moves. But he can just recharge for a bit, stay behind him, wait for his chance. Once the softs drop off, to go for the lead of the race. He is right there now, in the fight. Pocho and JM still switching places, and Ewek in the middle, 3 wide down the main straight. JM gets past by both as he doesn't have DRS, and down towards turn 1. Pocho and Ewek side by side. Both braking late. Pocho brakes slightly later on the inside and gets ahead of Ewek. Pocho staying in 8th place and chasing after Kevin. And Kucho makes a move on Strielka down towards the Delaroger chicane. And into the lead of the race goes Kucho. As Strielka seems to be on AI. Yes, Strielka going very, very slowly here, and he's left the session. Strielka with the disconnect from the lead of the race. Absolute horror scenario for Strielka. I'll try to send an invite to him as quickly as I can, so he can get back in and recover as many places as possible. Alright, invite sent. Hopefully he's able to get back in quickly. Absolute nightmare scenario for Strielka. Disconnect from the lead of the race. And dropping down places now. He's dropping behind Menace Man and Pinky as well, down into P5 already. With BS Garby and Kevin not far behind. Two Ferraris in their home race, currently running 6th and 7th. After a double podium last week. Strielka now back in, just as the Ferraris have caught up to him. And Pinky makes the move for P3 on track now. Has gone past Menace Man. Strielka still not back in the car. He's back in the lobby, so I assume he's currently in a loading screen. And falls all over back of Kucho here. The battle for the race lead. It is Aston Martin versus McLaren. Gabi is now past Strielka. And there we go, Strielka has taken control of the car once again. He's dropped down to P6. And from here he can try to recover as many places as possible. He is still within range of at least a podium, I would say. With the pace he showed early on in this race. So nothing lost for him yet, of course, though. Still a major setback and very annoying for him to have his race, well, not ruined, I would say, but certainly negatively impacted by disconnect. Yellow flags in Sector 1 for Thog, I think? I don't know. By the time I switched on the camera of Thog, he was moving normally again, but the placement of the yellow flag seemed like it was him. Well, we focus on the race leaders again, as Foltz only 4 tenths behind Kucho, heading onto the main straight. This could be a move for the race lead coming up here. A lot of action in the midfield going on as well that I'm completely missing here, as I have to focus on this fight from the lead. Foltz goes up the inside into turn 1, brakes late, and gets past the McLaren rather easily there. Of course, major advantage of the DRS. And Menace Man goes back past Pinky actually, through turns 1 and 2. Gets the McLaren under braking, I think it was. Gabri barely hanging on the DRS range here to those guys, and Strielka just outside it on those 7 lap old softs. Might be starting to show some signs of wear here. Believe the pit window is around lap 12, so not too far away now. Because the Italian Grand Prix only 27 laps, which are about 1 minute 20 each. Is that about correct? Yeah, 1:21. It's a very short race. Of course, the Formula 1 distance for each Grand Prix is about 305 kilometers. We run 50% races, so about 152.5 kilometers. And the distance doesn't change based on the average speed that you have, so of course a track with a high average speed like Monza means it'll be a very short race, which is exactly why Singapore is such a long race. It's a very low speed track, so yeah, it takes very long to complete. The only exception to that rule I think is Monaco, which is a the average speed is so slow that they shorten the race distance so it doesn't get too long. And then we go Kucho back into the lead. Back fast Foltz with the DRS, and Foltz, of course, doesn't really have any option apart from letting him go. He can't really put up much of a fight with that much of an advantage that DRS gives on this game. Meanwhile, Pocho, he's up into 7th. He caught up to Kevin at some point, which I completely missed while commentating on the battle for the race lead. And Kevin under big pressure from JM here. And Kevin very low on ES as well, as we saw, and JM will take full advantage of that and move past the Ferrari down towards the Delaroger. Kevin brakes early, doesn't want to go risk a side-by-side battle through the chicane. And JM makes a bit of a mistake. Both drivers are losing a lot of time there. Quite unfortunate for Kevin. He decides to let JM go and gets punished for that, with JM making a mistake and lose about a second. And JM with another major slide. Really struggling at the moment with rear grip, it seems. Foltz back slightly, a 6 tenths gap between him and Kucho. Both recharging ES, I believe. I mean, the way Monza works in this game, you pretty much don't have to bother battling until the final lap, especially if you're already in the fight for the race win. Of course, for these guys further back, it makes more sense. They can gain positions and then start chasing after the cars ahead. But for Kuchel and Foles, there's nobody to chase anymore. They are already in the furthest train they can be, on the highest positioned train they can be. You know what I mean? So yeah, it doesn't really make any sense. Striker going for the move around the outside into turn 1 of Gabriel, that was of course never gonna work. And he loses a bunch of time. Meanwhile, JM is back into the aspect of Portugal. Marcello with a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pits. Sully in the pits as well on this lap and pulling on medium compound tires. Rather early pit stop for the Haas driver. And he's going to come out in P13. And yellow flags in Sector 3 for Owise with a spin in the parabolica. And a spin again! And a DNF for Owise. And that's brought on a full course safety car on lap 10 of this Grand Prix. And that is a very interesting development in this Grand Prix. This will mean mediums for the soft runners and hards for the medium runners, I would assume, for most at least. So a major advantage, I would say, for the guys who started on softs. Perfect timing for them almost. Only 2 laps before the pit stop window. Mediums will easily make it to the end. And the driver's already on mediums, they can't go to mediums. And soft won't make it. So they will have to be on hards, which of course will be slower. And then we go, Kuchel is in, Foles is in, I think everybody will be in. It's it's such an obvious choice to pit. It makes very little sense to stay out in this scenario, unless he already pitted, like Thok, Hanos, Marcello and Sully, but even Thok and Hanos just came out the pits actually, but yeah, absolutely everyone in the pit lane. Double stacks absolutely everywhere as well, I assume, with 17 cars in the race. And not a massive field spread in this Grand Prix so far. Kuchel lead on mediums, Foles on hards, Mannesman in 3rd, Gabri 4th, Pinky 5th, Schwerker 6th, Pocho 7th, JM 8th, Ewag in 10th, is Kevin in 9th, Desi in 11th with a wind change. Tyler actually is in a jump. Quite a few here as he comes out in P11. That took fully brake there, I think, as he probably got a very close to the delta. Comes on in 11th, Desi will be in 13th as Sully jumps up into 12th after having pitted 1 lap earlier. Sean will the pits as well, getting fresh mediums I would assume, to go to the end of this Grand Prix. A 16 lap, well, sprint, you can say almost, to the end of this Grand Prix now. Everyone back in one train once again, and we'll effectively have, yeah, no more pit stops. Everyone is going to the end. Of course, barring any more safety cars, any wing changes, but yeah, the strategy for everyone now will be to go to the end, no more pit stops to be made, which means it will be a straight up battle on track for the points positions, for the race win, for the podium, everything to play for. And Strelka once again is disconnected. As Gabri has gone off at Ascari. What has happened here? I'll invite Strelka back in again. At least this time he's disconnected under safety car, so it won't cost him anything. But still certainly annoying. Invite sent out to him. There we go, Strelka's back in. Tyler in the pit lane now, actually 1 lap later than everyone else. So he will drop to 14th probably. Sean Moon is quite far behind still. Serving a time penalty and going on to mediums. Marcello has a time penalty as well still. It might be worth serving that under the safety car, but he has opted not to do so. There we go, Tyler. Easily gonna beat Shawmul out the pit lane. Will be close actually. Both burning ERS, and Tyler has come out ahead. And Strelka is disconnected again. Jesus Christ. There we go. Invite sent. So yeah, apparently some major connection issues going on for him. Hopefully he can get back in time for the restart. He probably has one more lap, as I don't think these guys here will catch up in time. So yeah, probably restart on lap 13. And of course, the longer the safety car lasts, the better it is for the medium runners, as their tires will, yeah, like the longer the stint goes on, the more it will swing in favor of hard compound tires. So yeah, the less racing laps they have to do, the better for them. And I think with only 14 racing laps to be done, once the safety car comes in, that should be no problem for the mediums. The normal strategy would be 15 racing laps on mediums, on a soft medium strategy. So that should be absolutely perfect for them. So I would assume that the mediums will be faster all the way to the end of the race. But of course, I don't think they'll be like insanely like so much faster that the hards can't compete. And as long as the hard drivers can stay in the DRS range, absolutely everything is still possible for them. And there we go, Marcelio is now in the pit lane serving his 5-second penalty. Putting on some fresh medium. Strelka is back in the lobby again. And I would assume the safety car's coming in this lap. Marcelio, is he gonna catch up before the sector 3 line? I hope he is. And he's actually having a fuel light on. He's down by 0.14. So a bit low on fuel there, but should be fine. You do gain some fuel back around Monza, I think. Everyone else is in the positive in terms of fuel. Kucho warming up his tires here, getting ready for the race restart, of course. He will be the one to lead the pack through the final sector once the safety car gets called in, which should be any moment now. There we go, safety car in this lap. The restart has been called, and Kucho now sets the pace and can decide when to restart this race. Of course, he has to make sure he doesn't go too early, like I did yesterday. The safety car, catching up to the safety car, getting slowed down by the game. Thankfully, nothing happened, and everyone came out fine in that. Did I say yesterday or Saturday? Sorry. So yeah, Kucho, he's gone very, very early here, and I think he might catch back up in the safety car. Exactly what I said. I think he might catch back up, and the game will slow him down. Yes, he will. Yes, there we go. He's been slowed down slightly. And, well, he had a big gap to Foltz, actually, so it didn't cause any sort of Constantina effect, but Foltz is now going to be much closer than he would have been. But still, Kucho, yeah, stays in the lead of the race. BS Gabi and Pinky fighting the turn 1. Pinky on the inside line. And he is ahead of the Ferrari. But they are 1.5 seconds behind Man's Man, the battling already costing them some time. And Strielka all over BS Gabi now, losing a good amount of time with the battle there. Foltz all over Kucho with my full race lead. A lot of battles going on here. All throughout the grid, of course. The entire 17-car grid right behind each other after the safety car restart. And Kucho under big pressure from behind. They do seem to be creating a gap once again. Menace Man just hovering outside the 1 second range. He wants to try and get into 1 second. Strielka moving past Gabi for 5th, making advantage or taking use of those fresh medium tires. Of course, faster than the hards, at least for now, and probably to the end of the race, so we'll see how it develops. And Foltz, very impressive of him right now that he can so easily stay right on Kucho's gearbox, despite the fact that he has tire disadvantage. Of course, it is Monza, it is quite easy to follow, but still a majorly impressive job from Foltz right now. And putting massive pressure on Kucho, and I think he's about to go for the move. Yes, to the outside, on the main straight, and he gets past Kucho, going down towards turn 1. Is Kucho going to try and fight back into turn 1? No, he's not. He will wait for a better opportunity later on down the line. Gabi has a little look up into Strielka, but doesn't actually commit to it. Doesn't think he can outbrake him by enough to get the move done safely. Of course, this safety car has brought a lot of drivers who had incidents early on back into race, among of which are Sully and Sherwood in 12th and 13th, but so far they haven't made that many places. Tyler 2 seconds behind Ewek. So not looking great for these guys back here in terms of getting into the points paying positions. The top 10 have sort of pulled away from P11 and downwards. Management barely in DRS range to Kuch right now, 9.5 tenths. Pinky barely outside 1.1. This can be so crucial as the DRS will be activated soon. And once you are out of the DRS train or in the DRS train, it's very difficult to catch back up to other drivers. The DRS has such a massive advantage around Monza. As I said so often in this stream, I can't overstate the importance of DRS around Monza, or in this game in general, but especially around Monza. Kucho 5 tenths back of Foles, probably not close enough for a go. There we go, DRS enabled. Management 1.1 behind, and yellow flags for Thog around Parabolica, who has had a spin, gets the car turned around, but he is way behind the field now. Very unfortunate for Thog there. And as we head down towards, or through the Curva Grande and towards the Variante del Roger, Management just hovering outside 1 second. He needs to get into 1 second. Going to into Ascari, or after lesson, we actually have a virtual safety car now. I assume for Thog, who looks like he's lost his wing. And now tires in the pit lane. VEC deployed, everyone can recharge their ERS. Of course, they have to keep an eye on the Delta. Have to make sure not to speed, not to lose too much time either. But the race has been neutralized for now. Should be ending soon though, I think the VSC shouldn't stay out for long. There's no actual danger on track from what I saw. I don't think Thog lost even a wing, but still, it brought out the VSC, the crash. Still the VSC out here as we head down towards Parabolica on lap 16. We are about to go into the final 10 laps of this Grand Prix. And there we go, a drive-through penalty for BS Garby, speeding under VSC. And for Pinky as well, both Pinky and Garby with drive-through penalties in this race. Absolute nightmare for them. Management got DRS, but he's 1.7 seconds behind. He had a terrible restart. And he is probably not out of the fight for the race win. Kuchar and Foltz might be on their own here in these final laps of this Grand Prix. Pocho all over Strielka. Oh, sorry, JM all over Pocho. Well, although Pocho is not that far away from Strielka either. Kucho. Meanwhile, all over Foltz. So many close battles going on throughout this field. And DRS now enabled. This means overtaking opportunities absolutely everywhere around this track. This is the first one down towards Ascari. Is Kuch gonna go for it? No, he slows down on purpose. You can see him going off the throttle. He doesn't want to pass into here, of course. It's a lot more dangerous to overtake into Ascari than it would be to turn 1, so you might as well just wait 20 seconds longer to have a much easier and much safer overtaking opportunity where you don't risk an accident. Especially if you know there's still 10 more laps to go, and if I overtake right now, he will just overtake me right back. You might as well just sit behind and wait until the last lap. And Kucho is not doing that. He's going to move into turn 1, and he wants to be in the lead of this race, in control of this train. And he has passed Foltz into turn 1. The same goes for Strielka, who is up into P3. Tyler moving past Ewek for P6. Sully has moved up back into the top 10. He is catching up to these guys. Tyler in 7th as well. He was in P11, the first one of that group that wasn't quite in the train. Yellow flags coming out of turn 1 from Marcelio with a 5-second penalty for corner cutting as well. What has happened to Marcelio to get a 5-second penalty and cause a yellow flag at once? Falls 2.5 tenths behind Kucho. Right behind him. These guys, whoever is ahead, just cannot pull away. They are so close on pace, it seems. I don't think we'll be able to predict who of those two will end up in the lead come the final lap. Sully now with the 3-second time penalty. I think it will come down all the way to the line. A battle that looks like it can go all the way here. As Kutscher has a terrible parabolica and slips right through. And has DRS as well, and that could be massive. Foltz might be able to pull a bit of a gap here. He's already ahead and has DRS. Might gain a bit of time down towards turn 1. And meanwhile, this train, the fight for P3, very close with Marcelino speaking in the pit lane. Strielka, Menaceman, Pocho, JM, so close to them. Marcelino now retiring from the race as well after that mistake. Thinks there's no more chance of points, might as well just end his evening. Sean Moon and Sully battling over P10 here, side by side through the Cover Grande. Bit of contact made as well there, but Sean Moon on the inside line pulls ahead, and Sully in the Haas doesn't see any sort of answer for that. But they are both chasing after Kevin and Ewek for this battle for 8th. Menaceman dropping outside DRS range, Kutsch dropping outside DRS range, Strielka almost inside it. Foles has burnt his ERS to try and get away from Kutscho, but it doesn't. Oh, Kutscho with a 3-second time penalty! And that could be the end of this battle almost, because now Foles can simply, even if Kutscho is in DRS and even if Kutscho goes past, it doesn't matter. And I think Foles has gotten out of DRS anyway. Oh no, he's slowing down. Foles is slowing down. And Kutscho is right back in range. Down towards turn 1 here. But Kutscho now with a 3-second time penalty. And a yellow flag for Desi, who has crashed at Parabolica and brought out another safety car. Another safety car, the second safety car in this race. And that is now very interesting strategic opportunities open. Do you pit for softs? Do you stay out and try to hang on to as many places as possible in these final 5 or so laps of racing after the safety car goes in? Honoris has his answer, he pits for softs immediately. And the same goes for BS Gabri. Soft tires for the Ferrari, soft tires for the Haas in 13th and 14th. But these ones at the front, I think they're the ones to look out for here in terms of strategy. Does anyone try and gamble to stay out? Go for track position? I mean, the thing is, say Sully in 11th. If he stays out, he's in 1st. Is that worth it? Is that the is that enough of an advantage that you are the softs enough of an advantage to give up 10 places worth of track position? I mean, of course, I think Sully has a penalty actually. So yeah, track position isn't all that useful for him. He needs to have the tires to actually pull away. But okay, say Kevin, he doesn't have a penalty. 8 places of track position, is that worth it? I don't know. The soft tires, the fresh softs are such a massive advantage. This is very interesting now. I think we'll have to wait and see what ends up being the best strategy. Right now it does seem like everyone is pitting. No, someone is staying out, JM! JM has done it. He has gone risky. And he's the only one out of the top 11 who are sort of still in the same train here. Pinky, a bit further behind. I think he might as well pit. He's not going to get past many of these. And he'll also go to softs, of course. I think everyone will be on soft. Management on mediums, actually, so I assume he didn't have fresh softs. And yeah, the entire field on fresh soft compound tires, with 2 exceptions, JM on 10 lap old hards and Menaceman on fresh mediums instead of softs. And that could now be a very, very interesting, and this makes effectively a 5-lapper. Effectively it's a 5-lap race at this point. And absolutely everything can happen. What will be very crucial is that Foles does not stay behind JM for long. If he can get past JM, while Kutscho, Strielka, Pocho and so on behind don't get past him immediately, JM will hold these guys up, and Foles can simply drive away and off into the distance and have a clear run at the race win with absolutely no competition. And the same goes for if only Foles and Kutscho manage to pass JM. With Kutscho's time penalty, he is not going to gain 3 seconds on Foles, I'm very confident. Strielka is Foles' best competition for the race one here. I don't think JM has much of a chance of holding on to the race lead. I think he was 5th before the pit stops. I will say if he gets above 5th, or if he gets 5th or above, the strategy has worked. If he doesn't, it hasn't worked. That is the reference for him. Of course, he is now in the race leader, and I'm sure he's going to try and defend it. But on this much of a tire disadvantage on a track like Monza, where overtaking is rather easy, it is going to be have to be an absolutely insane defense from JM if he wants to somehow hang on to this race win. But of course, there is a chance. There's always a chance. You never know what can happen in Formula 1. And that is why we love this sport. That is why we love Nick Racing. That is why we love this game. Well, do we love this game? We don't love this game. We hate this game. We love the racing. Safety car should be in on the end of this lap. Absolutely everyone is caught up. So that means end of lap 22, the safety car will come in. We'll have 23, 4, 5, 6 and 7. A 5-lap race around the Autodromo Nazionale di Monza in Italy. Ferrari's home Grand Prix. The home Grand Prix of quite a few drivers on this grid as well. And one of the most iconic places in Formula 1. And we are in prime position to have another iconic race here. An iconic finish to a race around this absolutely amazing racetrack. It is JM the lead. Will set the pace for the final sector. Who can decide when to go? But it is Fultz in the best position for the race win, with a major tire advantage, and the car behind him having a penalty. His main rival for the win, Strielka in 4th. He is the best positioned car to battle with Fultz, I would say. But, I mean, everyone on fresh softs, so as long as they stay in DRS range, the cars ahead, they are within the shot. And we all know as well how Monza Turn 1 can look. 14 cars going to Turn 1. Anything can happen. We'll see how many survive. And JM is the one now in control of the pace. Burnt minor has been called in. JM is slowing down the pack to create a gap so he can go potentially early. Or is this a dummy strategy? Is he gonna go late anyway? We'll have to wait and see. He's now certainly has enough of a gap to go, so he can go anytime he wants. He's still warming up those tires though, down towards the Parabolica, now into the Parabolica actually. Still warming up. Still warming up. Hasn't gone yet. I think he will go very, very late here, which only makes sense for him. The earlier he goes, the more advantage those soft tires behind can use. There we go, he's finally gone, and he's caught Fultz off guard completely. Kuchno is side by side with Fultz down towards turn 1, and that could be a major advantage for Kuchno if he just gets that position. He's on the inside line. Is he going to be able to get past Fultz? Can he outbrake him into turn 1 on the inside line, and side by side into turn 2? Kuchno halfway over the curb, and there we go. It is Fultz into second place. Sully gets a 5-second penalty for corner cutting. Missed turn 1 apparently. Porsche has gone past Strielka for P4, and now putting pressure on Kuchno. Is he going to send it under brakes into the Della Roger chicane? He is not alongside, can't get past the McLaren, and JM has been passed by Fultz meanwhile. And now Fultz into the lead of the race. Can he build a gap here? Can he pull away from JM before Kuchno and Porsche and Strielka and everyone else behind get past the Alpine? It is crucial for these guys to not be stuck behind the Alpine for too long. As you can see, already 7 tenths back in already a few corners. And there we go, Kuchno moving past JM. And this could be perfect for him if he can hold up Porsche and Strielka and so on behind. Kuchno can start building that 3-second gap that he needs. Meanwhile, Fultz already pulling outside the DRS range to Kuchno, a 1.1 second gap. Fultz doing exactly what he needs in this Grand Prix to secure the race win. Porsche trying to get past JM, he's burning ERS down towards the Parabolica, sends it under brakes, and gets past JM. What a move by Porsche. Total bravery and up into P3. And chasing after Kuchno, chasing after Fultz as well. The fight for the race win is on. Kuchno is only 6 tenths back. We are definitely on for a fight here. JM losing so many places. Here, Tyler is moving past as well. And Tyler actually having a go at Strielka, sends it under brakes, makes contact with Porsche there. But thankfully both cars still pointing in the right direction. Yellow flags in turn 1 as a Williams off in the runoff. There's an Alpine as well. JM involved in that. Absolute chaos going on there. And a massive gap has been created after P5. Kevin 2 seconds back from Strielka. He's side by side with Sully down towards the Della Roger. Porsche and Tyler. Tyler in the gravel. Porsche and Tyler with an incident. Strielka moves up into 3rd place, but now they have dropped back 1.3 seconds from Kuchno. And that has released Fultz. into safety. Strielka has to burn his entire EAS to get back into the EAS range after Pocho and Tyler had an incident and dropped behind him. Can Strielka connect the trains once again? Or is it over? Once the DRS is activated and they are gone, they will stay gone. I'm very confident in that. It is absolutely crucial that Strielka catches back up to Kucho if he wants to win this race. Tyler having a go at Pocho down into the Parabolica. Meanwhile, Man all over back of Sully, of course, has a 5-second penalty for the corner cutting at turn 1. As Kevin tries to go to the left-hand side as well, but can't quite get the exit. Tyler moving past Pocho down to T1 into the Rettifinio chicane. Pocho trying to hang around the outside, but can't. This is back out of the move. Strielka 9.5 tenths back right now of Kucho. Can he get the gap? Kucho, of course, burning every bit of EAS he has. He needs to stay away from these guys and get as much of a gap as possible. That 3-second time penalty, or he could end up all the way down in P5 or even further down. As battles are still raging on for P6. Sully, Man, Kevin, Pinky, Gabri, Sean Mulhanoes in a train here from P6 to P12. The train in the top 5, Tyler, barely hanging on to DRS, or not hanging on to DRS of Strielka. It is very, very close margins here. Strielka has DRS, Tyler doesn't. Tyler and Pocho are on their own here, but of course, this could still very well be a fight for the podium if they stay within 3 seconds of Kucho, who is all over faults. And Strielka has to try and stay close, but even if he does stay close, he has a car in between him and faults. He has very low EAS. It is gonna be very difficult for him to get that position. And Tyler getting the DRS from Strielka just about, heading down towards Parabolica and then into turn 1. The trains are connected for now at least. The top 5 all in DRS range to each other. And Faults might be in danger of Kucho overtaking here as Kevin and Madison battle through Parabolica. And Kucho goes for the lead of the race into turn 1, gets past Faults. Faults not really battling it all that much. Of course, Kucho has a time penalty, so Faults doesn't need to. The only car he needs to worry about, or the only cars he needs to worry about, are the ones behind him now. Strielka, Tyler, Pocho. If they all take him, it will actually count for position. Kucho's 3-second time penalty effectively puts him out of contention for this race with 2 laps to go in this Italian Grand Prix. As Sully moves past Kevin Kell for 7th position. It is absolute chaos all front of the field. So many battles going on at once. It is difficult to keep track of everything in this Grand Prix. Once again, we keep our cameras focused on the race leaders as they head down towards the Ascari. Have DS open here. Fulch actually turns it off. He doesn't want to pass Kucho. He's happy to stay behind. But that, of course, does lead to Strielka closing in. Fulch is vulnerable behind, maybe. He has more ES than Strielka. But if he gets a bad exit, that could be the end of it. Strielka 3 tenths back. Fulch looks to be in control of this. He is all over Kucho. But I wouldn't count out Strielka yet. As they go past the trees down towards turn 1 for the final time. We're starting lap 27, the final lap of this Grand Prix. And Fulch is gonna go past Kucho. Is Strielka gonna follow through as well? Is he gonna follow through as well? He's on the outside line, but he's boxed in there as Fulch very smartly, I think, braked a bit early to block Strielka from passing Kucho. And Tyler half into gravel there. Pocho moves past him. And Fulch now into the lead of the race with Kucho behind him. He has a buffer in between him and Strielka. Fulch playing this to perfection. And right now it looks like Fulch is on the way to winning a Grand Prix again. And this time I haven't seen him be in any kind of incident, so I'm very confident that it will stand. Unless I missed something that he did. But of course, he already won in Australia, but got it taken away by the stewards with a post-race 10-second penalty. And now, around Monza, we're on the final lap. Fulch looks good. He has the most ERS of the top 3. Kucho has the penalties. Strielka still won't need to pass him. And he is 2 cars back. Has Fulch done enough in this Italian Grand Prix to secure this race win? Everything points towards it. As we head down to Parabolica, Pocho trying to actually attack Strielka. Around the outside into Parabolica, Pocho absolutely sending it in there, but sends it too hard. Kills his exit, and there we go. It is Fulch winning the Italian Grand Prix. A very well-deserved race win. Kucho crossed the line in 2nd, but drops down to 5th. Strielka in 2nd, Pocho in 3rd, Tyler in 4th. Mannesman in 6th, Pinky in 7th, Kevin in 8th, Gabriel in 9th, Shawmul 10th, Sully in 12th. As Hanoes actually takes 10 with Shawmul having a penalty as well. And that has been the Italian Grand Prix. And what a race that has been. Thoroughly enjoyable. And yeah, if every race this season is like this, we are in for an amazing season. Portugal gets driver of the day, of course, after starting all the way down in, was it 15th, something like that? And fighting his way back onto the podium at his home Grand Prix. And he'll be very happy with that one, I think. Of course, maybe a bit annoyed to miss out on P2 right in the end. He tried everything in his power to get past Strelka, who, I have to say, had an awesome debut race, claiming second place and pushing Foltz all the way to the end. But in the end, it is Foltz who is on top of the podium here in Italy, and very well deserved at that. He has been up there all race together with Kucho. Well, Striaka as well, before his disconnect. Those three were the ones taking the pace as Poch was flying through the field from the back. And I would say all three of our podium leaders have done very well this race. Of course, Striaka a couple of disconnects, fighting back from that, and still getting P2, a very respectable result. Kucho, unfortunately, with the 3-second time penalty, dropping down to P5. Still a good result. 10 points for him. Tyler up the fast lap in 4th. And, yeah, the rest in the top 10. Menace Man in 6th, Pinky in 7th, Kevin in 8th, Gabriel in 9th, Fanois in 10th, Sean in 11th. Shorty, I think, actually crossed the line in 6th, but dropped down quite far with his post-race penalties to P12. JM in 13th, Iraq 14th, then Decima, Senor, Thork, and Owise having DNF'd from the Italian Grand Prix. And, yeah, that has been that. What a race around Monza, and yeah, I can only say I hope every race this season is like this. We'll be seeing you again this Saturday for the Bahrain Grand Prix in Division 1 at 8 PM UK time, so slightly later than usual. Of course, having been moved because of the sprint race around Brazil in the real-life Formula 1 World Championship. Hope you're looking forward to that, of course. Next week as well, same time as always, 7:30 PM UK. On Wednesday, the Bahrain Grand Prix in Division 2. Yeah, hope to be seeing you then. Hope you have a good evening, and goodbye.